In this video, this incident causes an actual injury. In real life, we have some fantastic racing at Red Bull Ring. And in daily racing, well, look at this. A disappearing FT1. Hello everyone and welcome back to a Plebs of the Week. Sorry it's a bit later, but we should be back on schedule this week. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. And if you don't want to watch this kind of video, turn off now. However, we're kicking off with this one sent in by PJ Robbie / Onion, and we've got Vin Diesel up ahead, and we're on board Alex right now, then Onion in P3. So as we go into this braking zone here, you can see here what the Mexicans try to do is try to avoid the car up ahead. Unfortunately, it just turned into a massive crash. It's just an accident, that one. We all make these mistakes. You can see that they just output themselves a little bit, and unfortunately, that was the outcome, and they lost out the most as well. That's a DRB lobby. Okay, so thank you for that submission there. We jump to the next one here. This is from German Kiwi, playing on their North American account here. And we've got Kiki Zenga up ahead. By the way, I love the look of this livery with the mud on it. It looks amazing. So the German Kiwi goes down the inside there. There's a slight tap between the two cars. There's also net code in there as well. You do have to be careful when you are playing in different regions. Jump on board Kiki, though, who doesn't like this, and go straight into them there. Now, they actually injured their finger, believe it or not. That's what they said to me, and that's why I don't like revenge punts doing that sort of thing. They get 4-second penalty and lose more positions, and that's in an A+ lobby as well, so not the greatest thing to see. Daily Race A, that's all the clips we had. We jumped to Daily Race B then. Remember, we are limiting some of these clips. And you can see here, it looks like the Italian went for a bit of revenge there on Delivery Boy, the Greek driver. Not sure what was kicking off there. If so, they took the penalty, and we continue on here. And there's Browner up ahead, who did submit this replay. Going to the final corner there. This is tiny tap, nothing major in my opinion, as we continue on now to lap number 5. And as we go into here, then the Italian's looking down the inside. Browner sees that, gives him space on the inside. Looks like they're going to do the cutback. Beautiful defensive driving there from Browner. Really well played indeed. As we head towards the next corner, then the Italian looking to send it. Did release the brakes there to try and get ahead of the position. Slight tap between the two cars there. That stopped the Italian running as wide as they should. They do have a 1-second penalty, so I was very confused with this driving because they're obviously going to lose out. They then really slowed down on the apex. Not sure what this is all about now. But as we continue on here, then they're obviously doing weird stuff there. They're braking really early, and then they pump Browner off. Now, in my opinion, this is where Browner probably could have done a little bit better themselves. Yes, this is not their fault, but if they're doing weird behavior like this, the Italian, don't go on the outside. They've hit the brakes really early there. That tells me they're going to go for a revenge sort of punt. Try and stay behind if you can, and you may survive that one. Even so, it's not your fault at all. I'm just putting it out there. We're looking to learn from some of these clips as well, where we can, and that is a part of Plebs of the Week. So we're with, well, we're not on board Brody Danger, but they submitted this one. So we've got another driver here going, sending it down the inside, running off wide there, and continuing flat out back onto the circuit. So they didn't really make that corner. I don't think there was any intent there in terms of, purposeful driving. I just think they were driving really badly, if I'm honest. Go to this right-hander then, and once again, they're going to try and accelerate and just go into the gravel. So they're just struggling with this circuit, this combo. Maybe it's the first race of the week. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. It's one of the early clips in terms of the numbers. And we've got Jack Kelly there going down the inside. Well, they obviously didn't like that in terms of the Mexican driver. I think that's the Mexican flag anyway. And then Jack Kelly says, no, you don't try and punt me, mate, and sends them off the circuit. So they're going to the back of the pack. Arguably, if they're struggling anyway, probably where they should be, just to practice the combo a little bit more. You can see here, Jack Kelly is now waiting up for them. You have a bit of a big old ding-dong, essentially. We're going to carry on with that as we jump on board Jack Kelly. This is the sort of thing where, you know when I talked about griefing before? This isn't griefing. This is just two people having a go at each other. And I'd never report this kind of thing because they're clearly just out to hit each other off at this point. And it's like for like, it's tick for tack. And in this situation, it's just not good to see, if I'm honest with you. See Jack Kelly there, goes to the absolute send there. And the Mexican is, well, dead. Is probably the best way to describe that one as they go off the circuit. They're not impacting anybody else either here. Everybody else has gone clean off. They get 4-second penalty for that one and engine damage as well. So they're not going to be able to keep up for now as we continue on down here. But look, they're waiting for them now. So it's like, well, there's nothing really, you can do there. If you send this in, you just say, well, obviously one's having to go at the other, he's having to go at the other. It's just a continuous, endless cycle. I don't know what we get out of it, to be honest with you, or what they get out of it, but even so, I just thought I'd show this one here. And you see that the Mexicans tried to do it. The Americans saw it, though. Well played, Jack Kelly, with awareness there, at least. Definitely saw what was coming. That's a DRB lobby, but yeah, not the greatest thing to see, but I just thought I'd point out the difference here between griefing and where two people just go hammer at each other. So it's Mitch, and this one, you check them out on YouTube here, and we're on board Tom right now. It's Mitch is behind. The TomTom's going to go into this corner and absolutely send it down the inside there. They were hard on the anchors. I mean, it's not the greatest move in the world. It's not a clean move in the slightest. So arguably here, TomTom really should give up the position. But they get a 4-second penalty instead. And then they start losing it over the 4-second penalty, which I'm so confused over because it was a really bad move anyway, if I'm honest with you, TomTom. So, yeah, there's no real rights here in terms of punting people off. That was your own fault you got the penalty, 4-second penalty. So, you know, why? Why are you doing this? I mean, you're arguably going to lose even more positions if you hold people up so much because you have to take that penalty still. And all you're doing is forcing everyone behind to, well, just have a bad race. And I don't understand this at all, in my opinion. Who to the left they go, then you can see here, they're just trying to slow down the apex. Obviously, the pack is going to catch up to them at this rate as we continue on through here. Once again, that's somebody else. I think that was Hambo sent off there. It's Mitch there trying to escape. Luckily now, a couple of drivers have escaped here. Unfortunately, Hambo didn't escape with the big old words dirty on the back. And what they're going to do here is go into the right-hander, just miss out there. They're going to go head out wide. They're obviously not happy with what happened there with TomTom. They're going to come back on and send TomTom off to the realms there and carry on. So arguably a bit of karma in there. Overreaction from TomTom in all said and done here. It really wasn't the greatest thing to do, in my opinion. Right, here, we're on board Mr. Anderson. So this was an interesting one. This is one that we can all learn from, in my opinion. So we've got Rocky up ahead here. Now, Mr. Anderson's going to go towards the right-hand side. And there's going to be a tiny clip here going into turn 1, which is going to send Rocky round. And unfortunately, they go into a barrier. Now, in my opinion, in this situation, Mr. Anderson should give up this position because arguably there was contact there. Yes, they could have got a bit more to the left. Arguably, you could have given a bit more space. I would have given the position back in that scenario. But I can see why you would carry on as well. You know, it's one of those things that does happen. Anyway, Rocky is not going to be too happy with that. Of course not. So they go for an intentional punt then into turn 2. A bit of revenge there. Arguably, you could say all said and done at this moment in time. Anyway, we carry on. Mr. Anderson is up ahead then in this part, and Rocky's not done now. And I just don't understand this because you've just taken out 2 innocent people there for what? Okay, Mr. Anderson made a mistake in towards turn 1. You got revenge in towards turn 2. That should be all said and done. And in the end, you've lost out anyway. And that is a DRA. So, yeah, Rocky, not the greatest thing in the world there. But something to learn from there. Maybe we should give each other a bit more space in towards turn 1, in my opinion. So TNR Speed Racer sent this one in. So Svetlio just gets hit from behind there in towards turn number 1. Going to have dirt on his tyres as we head towards the next corner here. And as we go to here, everyone's going to pile up here. And obviously, Svetlio had no real nowhere to go there. And that's a common thing at Red Bull Ring. We know that. At number 2, same sort of thing happens here. There's a big old pile up there. And Speed Racer, in turn, goes down the inside there. Nothing wrong with that at all. That was fair, in my opinion. Even more fair than the previous lap. As we head towards this right-hander, Svetlio's going to go down the inside then. Tiny bit of contact, nothing major, some space left on the inside. Sort of racing you expect there in that corner. And again, fine racing, absolutely fine, not a problem. So we just go a bit further on in this race. Speed Race looking down the inside of Svetlio. And Svetlio goes a little bit deep there. There's a push from behind there on Speed Racer, which does mean they go into Svetlio as we go into this final corner. We continue on out of here, and Svetlio's just not going to like it and punt Speed Racer off. Now, this is where I don't like revenge punting, because in my opinion, Svetlio's thought that Speed Racer got into them, but Speed Racer was hit from behind, and we're going to see that now here from the Italian driver. So as we go into this right-hander then, what's going to happen is the Italian just lets off, starts to accelerate, accelerates Speed Racer into Svetlio. So in that situation, in my opinion, you know, Speed Racer's done nothing wrong. Svetlio then thinks Speed Racer's done something wrong and revenge punts. And in the end, it's an overreaction to something that you shouldn't have done in the first place. So not the greatest thing to see there. In my opinion, that was a DRA-rated lobby. Right, we're on board Bullet then, the Italian driver. And this was submitted by Blue Tack Racing as we head towards turn number 1. We hit the brakes. Did they brake a bit early up ahead? Maybe, because they still made the corner, and then obviously that's caused a bit of an effect behind. 2-second penalty there for the Italian driver as we head up towards the next corner, and they're going to try and take out the German driver, and they do that indeed there. 2-second penalty, that should go up. I assume it goes up. Yes, it does. 7-second penalty there, so that's fair enough in my opinion. And now they get engine damage, so I don't really see the point. To be honest with you, they weren't brake checking you into turn 1. They just got it a bit wrong. You can't practice turn 1 the start of the race. It's one of those situations where it's new every single time depending on your position. You know, you've lost out in a load of positions here. 7-second penalty, going through this left-hander. The Austrian here, not too happy with you, no idea why. Punched you off even more. So you're going to go towards the back of the pack. All because of a misunderstanding, I would say. Yeah, and yeah, DRA rated lobby, and they've gone pretty much all the way to the back. So here we are with, well, we're on board Pigeon, submitted by G-Web, as you can see down in the bottom left-hand side. So Pigeon here on the outside of Zoomies as we go into this right-hander. There's a slight tap between the two, a little bit netcodey as well as we continue on through here. And, yeah, it's a bit of argy-bargy. That's nothing major. But both these two go at each other. So they both think it's each other's fault. They both go into each other. And then you can see it stops. But when that sort of thing happens, you know it's not the end. You really don't. So this is where you've got to be really aware of cars behind. The Pigeon sends Zoomy off there in... And we had an incident again. Stop taking people out. This is what I hate. Revenge punting, where you take out an innocent person. We saw earlier on where two people went at it at the back of the pack. Fine, whatever, who cares? But in this situation, you're taking out innocent victims and there's no reason for it. You're adding to the issue. You're not helping any situation. Jurek here in towards turn one, slight tap on Zoomies. That was nothing major at all. It was an obvious mistake here, but Zoomies says, no, I'm going to punt you, and spins them round. So Zoomies no better there in the slightest. Another DR-rated lobby. Right, this is the final submission for B. We did have more than this for Daily Race B. However, we are trying to limit this down to learn something. And this one is submitted by Glacomini there, otherwise known as Resman, and we're on board them right now. So going into this right-hander here, we saw somebody back off there, and you can see they punt into that right-hander. What's really annoying, really annoying, is what happens next, because Resman gets a 5-second penalty, and none of that was their fault. Let's have a look at exactly what happens. We've jumped into this in a bit more detail. So they get a bit of a push behind by Jack Kobe there, who was in that blue Mitsubishi. And you can see there, they've pressed a pause button or hit the hazards. They've done something there, and they've got a 1-second penalty. They are not happy with this at all. You can see there, they go for a brake check on Jack, and then they're going to continue on here. But you can see there's a lot of people around. You shouldn't be doing this in this situation. Yes, there may have been a mistake there, but even so, you've punted two people off, and then the wrong person gets a penalty. And this is arguably where Gran Turismo's penalty system really falls fouls on itself, because a 5-second penalty shouldn't have been there. We jump to Daily Race C then. We're on board Ewan VR, who we're on board right now. We got Arbueno up ahead. Tell me the film that's from. Anyway, in towards the left-hander we go then. They'll move down the inside. Just miss the apex by a tiny bit. Nothing major there. Looks to give room to Bueno, and then spins him round. No idea why. I did try and look throughout the race to see why that would happen. Couldn't see anything here. To me, this is good racing, in my opinion. Yes, it's as small as the contacts there, but that's nothing to rage about. That's just racing. They've given you room to come back on. Why are you doing this? Makes no sense at all. Not good to see there from our Bueno. That's an A+ lobby as well, by the way. We've got a lot of A+ lobbies to show you this week. So we're on board Sam then. This is a bit of an interesting one, so we'll take you through this one step by step, because there's a lot of clips for this. Sam in towards turn one then. Goes a tiny bit deep, nothing major. The Spanish driver there remaining on the same line. But again, nothing major in that situation. Leaves room on the exit. We continue racing. That sort of thing can happen. Not a problem. In towards the right we go. A little bit of a lunge there from the Spanish driver. Again, nothing major. And Sam here just loses it a little bit. That forces the Spanish driver off. And you can see here, it's just a bit crashy in my opinion. However, when I jumped to the Spanish driver, it did look a bit more intentional into the right-hander, maybe. But I can see why you would do that. I'm not going to say anything really bad about it. It's one of those things. You can see here, there's a clash there. They've got into the barrier. You'd be a bit miffed yourself. They're trying to accelerate through there. Sam goes off. All said and done there, in my opinion. Right. We go on board the Lamborghini then. Same race. Spanish driver is up ahead now. The Lamborghini is just going to miss their braking entirely here. And they go into the back of the Spanish driver. You can see it was a mistake. Look, they're waiting for the Spanish driver. Really good sportsmanship by this Lamborghini driver. No idea who you are with the nickname of Dash. But even so, 3-second penalty given. You still waited up. Superb sportsmanship there. Right, we're on board the Spanish driver now. A different lap. So they are obviously in the wars here. Danback goes a little bit deep there in towards turn one. Quite a common thing to happen here. And the Spanish driver continues on. So nothing major here as we go through. This one looks a bit purposeful to me. They accelerate for a long time there in towards the back of the French driver. Maybe there was lag there. It does look like a bit laggy. I don't know. Just seemed a bit of a weird one. That one, I will say that. Disco DM sent it down the inside. On board the Spanish driver is in the wars. Literally in the wars here. Through the left we go. Now they're purposefully keeping the Brit off there. Don't do that. Just give him a bit of room to come back on. I mean, what's the issue? There's Sam again, making progress in this race after that earlier incident. We jump on board Sam then for lap number 10. Quitting this braking zone. Watch this then. Sam takes towards the outside line to avoid the Spanish driver. Beautiful sportsmanship there from Sam. We continue on out of here then. The Spanish driver really should have noticed that in their rear view if they're on bumper cam, which is another kettle of fish entirely. But the Spanish driver, not going to like it. Hits Sam there. I don't like seeing that because Sam actually made an effort there to avoid you into that last corner. So that is not acceptable in my opinion. Pentecost here then submitted this one, and we're on board Mr. Dynamite. So you can see there, they didn't put the Spanish driver up ahead. Going into here, though, there's a slight tap. They just get it wrong. We all make mistakes. The Alpha did make the mistake there. However, you should be giving this position back. You really should have done that. Now, if you had given it back, I think this would have been absolutely fine. However, we go on board the Spanish driver right now as we head on towards this corner, and they absolutely send you into that barrier right there. But then they wait up for you. Now, I don't understand this reaction, other than maybe they're trying to say you should have waited, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. Mr. Dynamite gets a 15.5 second penalty. That's big. That's a very big penalty, and you can see that right there. So, yeah, very peculiar in my opinion. Obviously, that isn't the end of the story because the Brit has got a 15.5 second penalty. The Spanish driver continues on then, so obviously they were trying to tell them to wait up next time maybe. I don't know. Only the Spanish driver could tell you that one. But the Alfa Romeo obviously wants some revenge, but the Spanish driver very well aware of what was going to happen there. Veers to the right, still gets caught there, but they're going to continue on, and I don't know why. Don't know why, to be honest with you. It's one of those things where it's all started because of an innocent mistake. All started, and a bit of sportsmanship, and we'd have been fine. From the Italian here, who absolutely sends it into sights, right? And I had to try and find why this happened. Sends him into the barrier, causes a huge crash, and obviously Sykes going to get a penalty. 5-second penalty there for the FT1. Nice to see the FT1, by the way. Just a bit of a FYI. Oh, no, Sykes doesn't get a penalty. I thought they did, but I don't know how they avoided that. Maybe it was so hard the game went, yeah, you're absolutely fine. Obviously, the FT1 loses positions, and so does the Alpha, and I couldn't see any problem. I went through the entire race looking for anything here, and the only thing I could find was here. There's a bit of bump drafting. The Brit goes towards the right side, the Italian towards the left, and then the Italian disappears. I mean, the Brit couldn't have done anything there. The Italian disappears. That's the only thing I could find. Maybe I missed it, I don't know, but I tried to scan through it. I couldn't see anything, and we were on board the Italian. Look at that. Very odd connection. So maybe the Italian had connection issues. I believe so. That was a purposeful punt, in my opinion. That's a DRA. I've seen how many high-rated lobbies we've got in this week. It's insane. There was more than this as well. So Leo submitted this one, and we've got Levitius and the French driver up ahead. This is a top split lobby, by the way, this one. Some big names in this one. So we're going to the left-hander. Good move down the inside, in my opinion. Slight tap with Levitius, but Leo was there, in my opinion. And I was a bit just like, really, Levitius? I like Levitius, okay? I've raced with him many times, but that seemed like an overreaction. However, we'll have a look at it from Levitius' perspective now then. Going into this hairpin, and you can see here, Leo made that absolutely spot on, in my opinion. And to me, if Levitius turns left and pushes him off, I don't like seeing that. I don't think you should have done that. And that's an A+ lobby, as you see right there. Weirdly, literally the next submission in my list was Levitius submitted some clips as well. So we'll have a look at this one. On the outside here, as we continue on through, and Diego there pushes Levitius out, in my opinion. Levitius was even further ahead than the Spanish driver initially there. So not the greatest driving in the world. That number 6, we're still in that same race then. And the Spanish driver goes towards the left-hand side. Where's Levitius going to go? Going to go for the move? Nope. Hangs back a little bit here. Spanish driver's gone way too deep there. And Levitius looking to get the position potentially here. Loses the rear end there. Okay. You could argue that was maybe the same as before, but I would say Levitius lost the rear end there. I don't think that's Levitius' fault. They did lose the rear end. Lap number 11. We're still in this ding-dong of a fight. Let's go through the left-hander. And this is why I don't think Levitius did it on purpose before. Because, look, plenty of space given their beautiful sportsmanship there from the South African driver. However, the Spanish driver goes for the punt anyway. And I have no idea why. That's just silly, in my opinion. Absolutely silly. You've crashed as well, so you're now going to lose more places. What is the point? And this is the thing I don't get. These revenge punts, I don't understand them. Like, I understand why some people do them, but in this situation, what do you lose? Levitius is very well aware there. Good awareness from South African driver. Lets the Spanish driver go. But what do you get from them? Anyway, we've got Paul Levitius. Now, I want you to focus on the Spanish driver here, because this is entirely their fault, in my opinion. As we go down here, Levitius goes to the left. The Spanish driver turns left in the braking zone and pit maneuvers himself. That is entirely on you, in my opinion. Levitius didn't do anything wrong in that situation. And again, top split lobby. We're seeing horrendous driving standards in top split lobbies, yet all top split players want something done. So we're a bit different now. This is submitted by Dark Lord Sophie, otherwise known as 4. We're on board them right now. Look up ahead there. We've got a ghosted car taking a penalty. The penalty hadn't even finished. They unghosted and they hit them. Now, this is where you can't become reliant on the ghosted system, but a 3-second penalty as well. Gran Turismo, you need to do better. You really need to do better. Right, what we're going to do now is go to some great racing of the week, because we'd like to see some good racing as well. And then we've got Stiggy Moss here. And we're actually on board Jackie right now. Stiggy Moss is right behind them. And this is the final lap of the race at the Red Bull Ring. This is where a lot of carnage can happen on the final lap, because people really are desperate for that victory. Jackie sends it down the inside there. Good bit of racing. Makes it through the corner. Hyder there is trying to get on the inside here, and they're just alongside now as we head towards this next right-hander. Side by side once again, the Brit sends it down the inside, gets it stopped as well. Some room on the exit there for the Croatian driver if they wanted it. We continue on here. On board Stiggy Moss now in the left-hander. Stiggy Moss looking down the inside, backs out of it. Good sportsmanship there. Notices the gap is closing up. We head towards the next left-hander then. Still line astern here. The final lap of the race. So the final few corners to go then. This is where it can all kick off in a lot of races. No, Hyder doesn't move over enough. Sees that Jackie's gone there. Gives Jackie space. Beautiful sportsmanship. Stiggy Moss sees the advantage there. Goes down the inside for the final corner. We go into here then. Stiggy Moss looking to give room then. Can accelerate out. Look at the room they gave. Hyder then takes full advantage of that. They have a drag race towards the line. Hyder just gets this one. A+ lobby. Beautiful racing from all three drivers. Really well played there. Awesome to watch and see. Thank you so much for that submission. We jump aboard, we're on board Didgy actually with Levitius up ahead. So this is an interesting one. So Didgy's going to go for a bit of bump drafting there. Now you could argue, push to pass. Some people will argue that. That is not, because Didgy bumped well before the braking zone. Levitius just went a bit deep in my opinion. So all's fair game here. And Levitius submitted good racing. It was good racing. I did watch the lap there, but we're coming to the very end of it. Levitius go for the drag race towards the line. Didgy just gets it there at the very end. But again, brilliant racing from both of those two. That's going to be it for this week, folks. Then, if you did enjoy this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And if you want your clip to be in this video, make sure you use the form down below. And if your clip wasn't used for this week's racing, I apologize. We can only get a limited amount in there. But a big thank you for submitting all the same. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.